I'm really worried about your grades and your habitual tardiness.
I'm sorry po, ma'am. Hindi na po maulit.
May problema ba sa bahay?
Wala naman po.
Nandito lang ako pag kailangan mo ng kausap. Ako ang nanay mo sa school.
Dahil kay ma'am, natuto ako mag-English. Dahil kay ma'am, nahilig ako magbasa. Dahil kay ma'am, natuto ako.
So, you're early. Okay, please take note of the scope of your periodical exam. Number 1, compound nouns. Number 2, transitive verbs. Number 3,
Dahil kay ma'am.
Mr. Tolentino.
Ganito ako ngayon. Ma'am,
Is he going to be my teacher?
Yes, go to your teacher.
Hi, teacher.
ang cute mo naman. What's your name?
Ace po.
Ikaw nang bahala sa apo ko, ha?
Sige po.
ไม่ไปโรงเรียนเหรอ
112 แล้วก็จำนวนถัดไปคือสุธีจำนวนต่อไปเป็นอะไรครับ
ก็เห็นใจคงแกนะ แต่ที่ไม่รู้เรียนมันไม่ใช่บ้าน
นั่นดี เด็กจะเอาสมาธิที่ไหนไปเรียนนะ
เห็นลูกบอกว่าบางทีอ่ะก็ให้เด็กคอยนั่งเฝ้าด้วยนะ
นะดูแลแม่ครูให้ครับ
เอาแม่มาทุกวันแบบเนี้ยสงสารเด็ก
จริงๆอะหาคนดูแลเป็นเรื่องเป็นราวอะน่าจะดีกว่า
เนี่ยผมกำลังคิดอยู่ว่าผมจะลูกไปเรียนที่อื่น
มันดีลูกมันดี
ครูประจักษ์ผมขอคุยด้วยหน่อย
ครับ
แม่
ครูครับผมกลับก่อนนะครับ
ครับ สวัสดีครับ
ผู้ปกครองพูดกันมาเยอะ ผมว่าครูประจักษ์ต้องคิดเรื่องนี้อย่างจริงจังได้ละ
ครับ
ผมพอจะหาคนดูแลแม่ครูได้นะ
ขอบคุณนะครับผอ.แต่แม่ของผมให้คนอื่นดูแลแทนไม่ได้เอาเป็นว่าแม่สักครู่นะครับ
แม่ 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 แม่
จะไปไหนเนี่ย
แม่
ถ้าผมโต ผมจะขับรถให้แม่นั่ง
เป็นอะไร
แม่จอด
อะไรอะลูก
ยาย จะไปไหนครับ
ที่ผมนัดผู้ปกครองมาวันนี้ ก็ได้เรื่องที่หลายท่านร้องเรียนกันมา นั่นคือเรื่องครูประจักษ์
แม่ แม่
แม่ของครูประจักษ์เป็นโรคสมองเสื่อมและการที่แกพาแม่มาโรงเรียนด้วยก็อาจจะสร้างความลำบากใจให้กับหลายๆท่านครูประจักษ์บอกผมว่าแกมีแม่อยู่คนเดียวและแม่แกก็มีแกคนเดียวที่ผ่านมามีหลายโรงเรียนต้องการครูประจักษ์ไปสอนแต่แกก็ปฏิเสธเพราะอยากอยู่ใกล้แม่ครูประจักษ์มักพูดเสมอว่าแม่คือผู้ให้ชีวิตเอาละครับ เราทุกคนมีสิทธิ์ที่จะปกป้องคนที่เรารักถ้าท่านใดในห้องนี้เห็นว่าครูประจักษ์ไม่มีความเหมาะสมกับการเป็นครูที่นี่ขอให้ไปลงรายชื่อกันนะครับ
แม่ แม่ แม่
ไม่ไปโรงเรียนเหรอ
The webinar is about to start in a few minutes. Just a few reminders before we start the program. May we request everyone to turn your microphones off during the entire webinar unless you are permitted. Use the chat box solely in raising questions. Listen attentively to our distinguished speakers and please do not share your screen. And enjoy the rest of the program. Good afternoon, College of Education. Welcome to this year's Eductalk Activate, the brighter and braver self in the now normal. For everybody's information, this is an Eductalk installment that focuses on getting ready for the now normal this school year. This webinar will provide us valuable insights to us education students on how we will face and adjust this big shift in education from face-to-face instruction to distance learning. To commence, let us all feel the almighty presence of the Lord through a prayer to be led by Ms. Roshen and Daya, and this is to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. Please all rise.
Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of our Lord. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. We praise and thank you, dear God, for the blessings you have showered upon us. Empower us that we may have the intelligence to be competent and perform in the best way we can. The will for total commitment to truth, justice, freedom, peace, and unity among people and the environment, and the heart to be compassionate and sensitive to the needs of others, especially the poor. This we ask in the name of Mary, our Mother, and Jesus our Lord. Amen. Mater Fidelium, Mater Fidelis, Ora Pro Nobis. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Bayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, hanap ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisiin. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit pamataw, may nilagang tula, tawid sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdilindi. Ang bituin na tarong na kailan pamay di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw naman, hati pasinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang higaya na pa ay mga apir, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
At this point in time, allow me to introduce myself. I am Emmanuel from Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English, second year, and I will be your host. For everybody's information, para sa ating mga frost, we had our Eductalk last year entitled Transform, wherein, yun nga, may mga speakers kami from UP and UST. Yung goal last year is about transforming us to become better teacher leaders in the future. And of course, I would like to commend the Faith Co-ed family for organizing this, especially the faculty and the Teachers League, because you always want your students to get the best benefit, preparing us ahead of the obstacles. And to formally welcome us in this year's Eductalk, let us all welcome with a big hand our very own chair of the College of Education, Dr. Jerilyn Magbuo.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Emmanuel.
Hello po, Nay.
Hi. So I would like to formally welcome you in this Eductalk Activate. We planned this actually for 3 weeks, I believe, and sobrang bilis ng ating teacher leaders, FTL. They were able to organize this, and I'd like to really extend my gratitude dun sa ating dalawang speaker because today is a holiday. So actually, dapat nagpapahinga sila ngayon, dapat nagre-relax lang with family, but they knew the struggles no ng ating mga teachers, mga ating incoming teachers. So, alam nila na nahihirapan ng mga college students. Kaya nandito sila to share insights how we can get through this easier. Like what I said in our orientation, we know that there will be bumps along the way. Marami pa tayong makikitang mga lapses. But with preparedness, right, we are hoping for the best and anticipating the worst. Ito yung isa sa mga ways para ma-combat natin yung unknown, right? The only way to fight the unknown, right, is to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So I'd like to thank faculty members who are here as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Again, my sincerest thank you to the Teachers League, the organizing team, and our guest speakers for this afternoon. I'm very, very proud of these two speakers kasi sa atin to galing. So I know that you will learn a lot, and I hope you listen to them attentively and wholeheartedly, because I think their words today might help you survive the future. All right, so with that, welcome and God bless us.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome remarks, Dr. Jerilyn. And you are true po, marami pang bumps along the way. But these two po, I believe, sabi nga ng mga prof, mabangis tong ating speakers ngayon. And I feel so excited na ma-meet sila. And I know that everyone feels excited as well to meet our first speaker and be activated. And thus, without any further ado, to introduce our first speaker, he is Ms. Laurelyn Austria, the FTL Vice President Internal.
Thank you, Manuel. So, good afternoon, everyone. For our first speaker, she finished Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English, cum laude, at First Asia Institute of Technology and Humanities under a full scholarship with DIWA Learning System Incorporation and Catholic representative and president of the Board of the Emerging Leaders Program of the Student Life and Student Services Offices, and those college
Lori, sorry, you're lagging.
The top 10 outstanding students of the Philippines. She's currently finishing her thesis for
Hello, Lori. Are you with us?
Yes po. Hello po.
Okay. Yes, all right. We can hear you better now. Go ahead, ma'am.
Hello po, Miss J. Hello po.
Yes, go ahead, ma'am. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
Rinig na po ba ako?
I think your connection is better.
So, may I introduce you again? Yes po. Sorry po for that. So again, our first speaker, she finished Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English, cum laude at First Asia Institute of Technology and Humanities under a full scholarship with DIWA Learning System Incorporation and Catholic Educational Association of the Philippines. She was a batch representative and president of Teachers League from 2014 to 2016. She was part of the Emerging Leaders program of the Student Life and Student Services offices and was a college-level candidate for the top 10 outstanding students of the Philippines. She's currently finishing her thesis for her master's degree in education major in English at Laguna College of Business and Arts, Calamba City. She's a faculty member and school publication advisor of Canosa School, Santa Rosa City, Laguna. Let us all welcome our first speaker, Ms. Sarah Angela B. Gacutan.
Hello, thank you, Laureline, for your introduction. Can I share my screen first? Okay, thank you for the permission. For a while, let me just share my screen. Allow me to turn off my my video because it can disrupt my connection. Thank you. Okay. Can you see my screen? Ayan. You can unmute your mic if you can respond, if so that you can respond to my questions. Can you see my screen?
We can see it, Ms. Sarah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you po. Ayan. So, once again, good afternoon po, everyone. Ako ay natatawa talaga kanina dun sa, dun sa someone, I think it's the host, the MC na bigate or, palaban or I forgot
Mabangis.
yung mabangis. Miss J, oh my gosh. But thank you so much for the kind words. And I am really humbled and very, very grateful to have this opportunity with you guys. You can call me Miss Sarah or you can just call me Ate Sarah because as what Laureline introduced me a while ago, I was also part of Faith and Teachers League and I was also once a college student like yourself. So, ayan. Before I get started, the theme that I was given before by Roy, your president, your very dependable president, it's like activate, being braver, and how to survive or how to cope with online classes. But I decided to change the word surviving with conquering because as you all know, kami, kasi sa Canosa, in our school, we are done with the first week of classes. So, other than that, with that information, I was able to talk to my students, nangangamusta ako sa mga students ko, and I also have dialogue with my co-teachers kung kamusta ba yung first week ng online classes namin. And at the same time, if I'm going to ask myself, nung ako yung first year student, what can be something that I want to know before I start my classes? Lalo na, I think tomorrow, start na ng classes nyo, September 1. And online classes pa. So, let me be the one to tell you na it is really true that may bumps talaga along the way. Feeling ko nga hindi bumps eh. Feeling ko mountains, all kinds of land formation, lahat. Hindi lang siya bump. Talagang it's really, really hard. I'm telling you. But this is not to discourage everybody, but this is really how I want to start. I want to share with you the reality of what is happening in our in education, but this is in the private school setting, but what more pa kaya sa public school? So, ayan, allow me to somehow share my insights with everybody. So, before I go to the discussion part, I want you to utilize the chat box to answer a few questions of mine. So, I will be giving you a situation and I want to know your initial reaction to this. Okay, so for example, your class was tasked to film a 5-minute video showcasing different styles of calisthenics and the deadline of submission is on Friday. Ay, di ba Monday ngayon, so Friday, this Friday na siya. On another subject, your professor assigned your group to create a portfolio an e-portfolio rather, since it's online classes, of different language assessment tools for Filipino English speakers, which is due on the same day as the video. And wait, there's more. Sabi ni Roy, on top of this, your org president tasked your class to prepare and practice a 2-minute cheer to be presented in the freshman initiation rites to be held on Friday as well. So halimbawa, may initiation rites kayo na online. What will be your reaction to these tasks? Ayan. So, can I give you at least 30 seconds to really give that genuine reaction? Ano yung sasabihin nyo dun sa dami nung ipinapagawa sa inyo? Ayan. Okay. You can unmute your mic if you want. If you want to say your reaction directly. Meron ba? What can you say about these things? This is a situation.
Grabe po.
Thank you. Grabe.
Just a little bit of stress.
Yes, thank you. How about the others? Thank you for your answers.
Isa-isa. Magre-reklamo po, miss.
That's too
Ayan.
much.
It's too much. Oh my gosh. Ayan. Okay, thank you sa mga sumagot. Ayan. Alam nyo, dapat talagang eduk, masigla. Diyan pa lang, freshman pa lang, dapat masigla na. Di ba, Miss J? Ayan.
True.
Kailangan masigla na. So, yeah, thank you po sa mga nagsagot. Now, how will you react if I say that I was able to somehow anticipate your answers? Kasi, yan yung mga unang pinagawa sa akin nung first year kami. Yung org president namin at that time is, I think, Ate Tin Villadiego. And meron, yan agad yung pinapagawa sa amin. Tapos meron agad kaming mga activities like that. But it's not in an online setup. Tapos, I remember really vividly the reactions of my of my classmates pala rather. Sabi ni isa, hala, ang daming gagawin. Ang dami agad gagawin. Sabi nung kanina, sumagot kanina, grabe lang, ang dami agad. Others will, my other classmate na medyo siya, passive na person, sabi niya, matutulog na lang ako kasi nagdo-dorm kami dati. So, malapit yung dorm namin since I am a DIWA scholar. So, yung lodging namin ay nasa dorm lang. So, matutulog na lang kami since na walking distance lang naman yung dorm. And at the same time, hindi naman ako nagpapabida, pero I was one of those students. Sabi ko, kahit isa lang gawin natin, tara usap na tayo after lunch sa common area. So, isa lang naman, like, yung cheer. Kasi parang sinabihan kami na kami na yung gumawa. So, sabi ko, sige, isa lang, hindi naman kailangan lahat. So, based from these, I'm not saying that the reactions or the things that you will be saying to those situations ay eto lang tatlo. There are countless pairings or how many ways or how many reactions you can give to certain situations. But going to the theme that I introduced earlier, the key to conquering college, especially in this pandemic, is how you react to circumstances given to you. Ayan. So, allow me to highlight the word react. When we say react, it is how you manage your emotions. Now, a better term for managing your emotions is what we call self-regulation. Ayan. Now, if you're going to, ate, what's self-regulation? Actually, it's new to me sa term, pero I never thought na nagagawa ko na pala to ever since I started college. It's not really something that is hereditary or it's not based on your genetics, but it's something that you can learn by yourself or it can be taught by your teachers when you are in elementary or in your pre-LM, and something that you can teach yourself during college. Hindi naman siya yung the point of no return na hindi naman ako marunong mag-self-regulate, matanda na ako, I'm already in college. That's not true. You can teach yourself how to do this self-regulation because it's the key to conquering college, especially online classes. But in this, it says, it depends on the everyday reaction, especially when the going gets tough. So, self-regulation will not really manifest if you are just lax or ikaw lang ay going with the flow. It will really rise. It will really rise sa inyong personality or sa motivation nyo kapag talagang ano ka, nabombard ka na ng maraming gagawin. Actually, feel na feel ako ng mga TL officers, FTL officers ngayon, na besides academic work, ayan pa ang mga responsibilities natin as an officer. So, feel na feel ko kayo, guys. Hi, Roy. Nag-usap na kami about anyway, yung there is this two-face kasi that's why I use the yin and yang symbol. The brighter side of self-regulation itself is you calming yourself and be present in the moment. When we say be present in the moment, it's like you are recognizing the things that you are going to do. And on the other hand, it is like you are taken by these very strong, overwhelming emotions such as anger or sadness. For example, yung iba, halimbawa, ito na yung alam nilang ito na yung gagawin nila plus may pandemic pa, tapos yung online classes pa. They are angry kasi maybe yung iba sabihin, ang unfair. First year pa lang kami, pinapahirapan na kami, parang ayoko na mag-aral, di ba? May mga ganyan reaction. Yung iba naman, hala, parang hindi ko kaya. Sobrang lungkot mo na kasi parang feeling mo you will disappoint your parents, you will disappoint yourself. Kasi ikaw, achiever ka dati, tas parang ang hirap-hirap na nung pinapagawa. So these are strong emotions na I promise you, hindi yan mawawala. Even now na I am already practicing my profession this is my 4th year of teaching, there will really be times talaga na iyak na lang ako tuwing gabi. Am I really enough? Am I really fit to become a teacher? And that's reality. Sobrang reality niyan. And it's normal. Pero, I try to teach myself to do the blue part, the brighter part of this, what we call self-regulation. I calm myself and I be present in the moment. Allow me to elaborate this further later. Now, let's go to the empirical side of self-regulation. Sabi ni Maureen 2010, syempre kailangan may groundwork tayo dito. When we say learning presence, this is something that supports online learners' self-regulation. So, let's say for example, ako nung college ako, actually last week ata, kakalinis ko lang ng kwarto ko. I was able to extract 12 reminder notebooks na puro things to do. Simula nung first year ako hanggang 4th year hanggang nakagraduate ako. And punong-puno siya ng mga things to do, ang daming mga scribbles, ganyan. And when I read the paper of Maureen, it says there that trying to do lists of the tasks that you need to do for the week or for the day or for the month will really give you that sense of presence. It's like calming because you are listing down the things that you know. Alam mo na may e-portfolio na ipapasa kay Ma'am Kabigaw. Alam mo na may video na ipapasa sa PE teacher mo na I think alam ko PE 1, meron kayong PE ngayon na first sem niya siya. I saw your schedule. Tapos meron namang isa na yun nga, you are going to present sa an online cheer or whatever sa freshman initiation rites. You list that down. That's your reality. Pero hindi naman kasama dun sa nililista mo na, okay, mapapahiya ako sa freshman initiation rites. Hindi mo pa naman alam yung mangyayari in the future. And that is how you do, that is how you achieve that presence. You are presenting things that is happening right now, and you do not know it, but you are already self-regulating. Other than this is the work of Zimmerman and Shang, 2008. It says there that successful use of self-regulation depends on how students' quantity and quality of the interaction to the subject. I don't know. Sorry ha, ang examples ko puro pang English major because, English major kasi ako. Yung isang example kanina, yung the e-portfolio, it was my second sem ng first year, Introduction to Linguistics. And kayo parang first sem nyo siya eh. And ang prof namin at that time is Dr. Kabigaw. If you know her, she's really great and I love her. She's also my professor in my master's. Ayan. So yan yung binigay niya sa amin na output. Gagawa daw kami ng assessment for ESL or for students sa junior high kasi kami nga ay secondary. So I when I say naka-highlight dyan, quantity and quality of the interaction. Quality, of course, if I know na mahirap yung pinapagawa sa'yo, of course, you tend to put more time into how will you make the situation easier. For example, ano yung mga ginawa ko? Nagbasa ako ng libro, nag-research ako, punta akong library, nagtanong ako sa mga upperclassmen ko, uy, paano ba yung kay Ma'am Kabigo? Ano, meron ka ba dyang notes, ate? Baka pwedeng, ganyan-ganyan. I really, asked Dr. Kabigaw, what are the things that she is expecting of the output. So parang sabi niya sa akin, you're really brave to ask me that. Sabi ko, ma'am, I really don't know po kasi I don't want to disappoint you. Parang actually yun naman talaga yung nararamdaman ko. And she helped me, pero hindi naman niya binigay sa akin lahat ng sagot. So she helped me out and I did not parang hindi ko sinolo yung knowledge na nalaman ko kay Ma'am Kabiga. I also shared it to my classmates, yung mga ka-major ko sa class namin sa English. And I put quality into the interaction of something na nahirapan ako. And by that time, humaba na yung oras, the quantity of time na ginugol ko dun sa isang bagay na yun. And I believe na nung na-present na namin yung assessment, yung portfolio ng mga assessments, I was really, of course, yung takot ka kasi pinagugulan mo ng oras eh. Pero as I go along, nung hanggang sa mag-fourth year ako, I realized that if you really put some effort, time into something, hindi ka the chances of you failing are very minimal. Of course, may mga times na hindi naman talaga yun mawawala, pero I realized the key. Syempre mag-aral ka, syempre mag-research ka, syempre magbasa ka. So, for me talaga, hindi uubra yung procrastination. And ngayong nagtuturo na ako, syempre, naiisip ko din, I don't want to be a hypocrite to my students kasi yun na lang ang lagi niyong isipin. If ngayon na college, ito na yung ginagawa niyo, will you be proud kapag kinausap mo yung mga estudyante mo at sabi, oy, you shouldn't cheat or you shouldn't procrastinate, edi maaano ka, you will jeopardize your sleep pattern, your health, ganyan. So, I want to give advice to my students na kahit ako, I was able to practice it myself. So, ngayon pa lang, yung thinking nyo dapat is you are already a teacher by profession. And later on, it will really be, parang it will be part of your system na. Yon, ganun yung thinking ko simula pa nung first year. And eventually, it became a lifestyle of mine. So, it is also said na if a student knows how to self-regulate, there is a higher chance of academic achievement, getting along with others, and having strong social skills. Ayan, katulad ng, mabanggit ko lang I was really happy to see Eman as yung susunod na speaker. At buti nauna ako kasi ayokong sundan si Eman. Kasi actually, I think he is part of the TOSP, the 10 Outstanding Students of the Philippines. Tapos nanalo siya. And I'm really proud of this kid kasi kasama ko lang to sa Baguio. Nakakarating kami ng Baguio. Tapos he is really a very talented, kind, and intelligent student. Kaya, as you can see, parang, hindi ko alam, I'm not really sure, pero I believe na I can see it in my students kasi na if the specific students, marunong silang instead of complaining, instead of parang they know how to respond to something that I want na ipagawa sa kanila, syempre based sa subject ko. And then chances are ang bilis nilang mag-react in a way na productive. They know how to lead his or her classmates to achieve the things that I want them to do. And that is how I saw Eman and the other my batchmates na kasama sa TOSP and dun sa emerging leaders and also to Teachers League nung I was able to work with amazing students during my time as the president na talagang if really teachers should have very good social skills, and I think self-regulation is part of how to achieve strong social skills. Ngayon pa lang let us try to teach ourselves that. Pero how can we really what are the tangible tips on how to survive online classes and how to do self-regulation. I'm not really an expert on this. This is a disclaimer lang. This is from my experience and further research. And honestly, majority of the tips that I included here ay nanggaling lang dun sa meeting namin ng faculty nung Friday. Kasi di ba nga, nabanggit ko before, nag-start kami August 24 online classes. Tapos natapos na yung week, it was August 28. We have a meeting. And I remember parang dapat mag-check kami ng schedule kasi it's like orientation week pa eh. So sabi nung assistant principal namin, wag na tayong mag-check ng schedule. Parang naging ano na lang siya, open forum para sa mga teachers. And you know what? I heard, kasi naka-Zoom kami, I heard or I saw my co-teachers crying. And it's really overwhelming talaga na, you are isolated and the demands of the parents are very, talaga araw-araw, ibabambard ka talaga ng mga parents. But out of everything, talagang, yun nga, self-regulation again. Let me highlight self-regulation. I cried starting 11 a.m. Kasi ang klase ko hanggang 10:30 lang nung Friday. 11 a.m. to 4:30 in the afternoon. Because inipon ko yung strong emotions of sadness and anger for the whole week. And then I cried it out. And then, ginawa ko tong mga tips na to. And sana makatulong sa inyo kasi feeling ko talagang it will really help you. The number one thing that I did is grounding. Nung Friday, ginawa ko siya hapon, pero I usually do this every morning. You can see in my screen, I have a picture of a palm. Tapos, of course, our hand has 5 fingers. Every day, lagi kong ginagawa, I list down or I use my fingers to list down realities or truths that I know in the present. For example, number 1, may COVID pa din. Number 2, my mom is going outside, working every day, nagre-report siya outside, and the risk of her having COVID is high. That's one reality that I know. Third, may klase ka ngayon, bumangon ka na. Magkape ka na lang, bumangon ka, may klase ka, kailangan ka nila. That's the third one. Fourth, it will be okay. Ayan. That is one reality that I know. It will be okay. And the fifth one, never na tong nawala sa akin eh. Yung 1 to 4, nagbabago. Pero yung panlima, lagi kong sinasabi, God is with you. God is with me. That's my fifth. So, I searched about it, and I didn't know na yung ginagawa ko pala is what we call grounding. It's like you are grounding yourself, you're pulling yourself dito sa present moment na ito yung alam mo. Huwag kang mag-overthink sa yung mga hindi mo alam in the future, but you list down the things that you know right now. Yan. So, 5 is enough. Kung kaya mo pa, kabila mong kamay, go. If 5 is not enough, use the other hand. Kung hindi pa pwede, gamitin mo paa mo. Kung hindi pa kaya ng isang paa, doon ka pa ulit sa kabilang paa until you calm yourself down. Yun yung ginagawa ko. Tinuturo ko rin to sa mga bata na we do also grounding kapag may time kami sa homeroom. The second one is talk about it. Hindi ko sinabing mag-break kayo ng protocol ng quarantine tapos lumabas kayo, utang na loob. Galit na si Halili sa mga tagatan. Ayan. But what I'm saying is you go and find a very strong support group. Ako every night I always talk to my friends, to the people that I love, my family. Hindi yan nawawala kasi na-realize ko na in my journey of becoming who I want to be as a teacher, I can never do it alone. I have my mentors, I have my friends, I have my mom, my family. Ayan. Hindi mo yan kayang mag-isa. Sasabihin, hindi ate, I'm a strong person eh. Kaya ko yan. No, that's not true. Yes, you're a strong person, but you cannot do it alone. If like, halimbawa, kahit yung isang lang, hindi ko sinabi magchikahan kayo after work iba yon. Pero you try to communicate your emotions. And I think, I believe this is the number one way of overcoming anxiety. If you're feeling like you're overwhelmed with anxiety, you talk about it. You recognize your emotions. Kasi I can talk about so many things like yung mga applications na pwede niyong gamitin, but you are already digital natives eh. You are all technical savvy or technology savvy people. And this is something na how I wish alam ko before nung before I go to college. And ayan, you talk about it. Build a very strong support group. Ate, paano kapag hindi ako friendly? Maybe it's time for you to go out of your comfort zone and talk to people. I have one student kasi dito na kasama sa Educ na sabi niya sa akin, Nay, mukhang marami na po ako kaibigan kasi nag-video chat na po kami last time. Tapos I was really, really, really happy kasi yan ang kailangan niya talaga ngayon. I'm telling you. Kayo lang ang magdadamayan sa lahat ng pighati at mga triumphs ng pagiging isang Educ student. And friends, your classmates will really become your family. And yan, always have a very strong support system or support group. Ayan. That's number 3. Number 2. For number 3, do the things that you can do. Ngayon, 2 years ago, ewan ko kung tanda pa to ni Doc J, I went to FATE kasi kukuha ako ng credentials before I take my master's in LCBA. Tapos sabi ko, Miss, tara, parang vacant siya. Sabi ko, lunch po tayo. Tapos kumain kami sa yung magandang kantin na ngayon na dati wala nung tayo namin. Tapos parang bla 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 nag-uusap kami. Then sabi niya, nag-ano ako sa kanya, hinihingahan ko siya ng sama ng loob. Sabi ko, Miss, pagod na ako, ganyan. Tapos sabi niya sa akin, which tumatak siya. Imagine, ilang years na ang lumipas, sabi niya. Alam mo, SARS, sa kakaganyan mo, mababurn out ka, sabi niya sa akin. So, hanggang sa umuwi ako, humiga na lang ako, tapos naisip ko, burnout. Ano ba yung burnout? Tapos na-realize ko na yung burnout pala ay kahit na gaano ka lakas yung passion mo sa pagtuturo. If you always see yourself as an Amazon, pag sinabi mong Amazon, yung Amazona, yung kaya mong gawin ng kahit na mababurnout ka talaga. So, isa sa gusto kong ipayo sa inyo sa online class nyo, I'm not saying na yung do not expand your horizon with your skills and talents. No. What I'm saying is, if it's already beyond the equilibrium of your comfort, not comfort zone, but something that you know you can still do, wag ka nang mag-go beyond. Kasi minsan, if you know Cedric Sihion, ayan, isa yan sa mga kasangga ko nung nag-aaral pa ako sa FATE talaga. He will always come to my dorm, kakatok siya. Sabi niya, hindi ko na rin kaya. Ayun, nanay na rin niya ako. So, lower batch kasi siya. Sabi niya, hindi ko na kaya. Ganyan, ang daming ginagawa, ganyan. So, kasi siya, talagang very active siya. Inaangkin niya lahat, yung kung kaya niyang tumulong, ginagawa niya. And he doesn't leave anything for himself. And minsan, naiisip ko, ganun din ako. So, it's not bad to help other people, but always remember na meron kayong limit. Kaya kayo napapagod kasi you do not know, minsan hindi tayo marunong mag-delegate, we do not know how to ask other people for help. Ayan. So, dun siya nakaka-overwhelm. Kaya ganun yung nangyayari na nagbe-breakdown kasi ang dami-dami. We do not know how to evaluate what are the things that we still can do or we can still do rather, and we do not know yung mga ginagawa yung mga dinadagdag natin sa to-do list natin ay sobra-sobra na. Ayan. So only do the things that you can do and can still be part of your to-do list. Pag talagang punong-puno na yan at alam mo na don't stop saying yes all the time. Maybe it's time to say no. Ayan. Huwag kayong mahiyang mag-no. Second to the last is find your peace. Hindi ko sinabing hindi ito yung rest in peace Pero when I say find your peace, you can see from the pictures presented na you can it's actually psychologically proven na planting or being a plantita or plantita is part of finding your peace. It's something that we can relax you. Kaya kung napansin nyo kanina, puro halaman sa likod ko. Ayan. Actually, nung college pa ako nagko-collect ng halaman. Pero ayan, sobrang peaceful kasi maghalaman talaga. Ayan. Other than that, if mamaya makikita nyo, sa likod ko, nasa kwarto kasi ako, I read books. Ayan, English majors. Ayan, magbasa-basa kayo. Ganyan, find, maybe, if you do not want to read books or plant, if you can find peace sa paglalaro ng ML, COD, go. Parang hindi ko naman sinabi na ma-addict kayo doon. Pero if that is something na doon kayo na nakakahanap ng nakaka-relax, go ahead. Baking, listening to music, watching movies, lalo na doon sa magdo-dorm sa second sem, kung tawag dito, kung the COVID will not progress sa second sem nyo, go ahead. Or you can go outside, hanggang gate lang, huwag kayo lalabas. Or cook, whatever. Always find something that you really want to do na it will bring you relaxation and calmness. This after the online classes, yon, find something that will bring you peace. If sleeping is something that will bring you peace, go ahead. Yan. Kung gusto mo matulog, matulog. But of course, sabi ko nga kanina, there should always be balance. Ayan. Wag naman palagi na you always find your peace hanggang sa wala na. Hindi na tayo nakapag self-regulate. Ayan. And lastly, ayan, this is actually my default button. And I hope this is your default button as well. Prayer is something that actually dapat siya yung una, pero inihuli ko siya because I want this to be something na tatatak talaga sa inyo kasi siya yung huling sinabi ko. Even if you have, or we have different beliefs, there's always this reality na there is only one God that we default to, someone that we bend our knees and clasp our hands and really just whisper and pray and just give every ounce of worries, our thanksgiving, everything that transpired within that day, within that week. You should always default in prayer or default to prayer. Kasi you can never be a good teacher if you do not know how to recognize who gave you those talents, who gave you the skill to prepare lesson plans and think of creative ways just to maintain the attention of the students of your pupils. Talagang yan yung default talaga natin. And if ngayon sa online classes, if you do not know how to do this, then I think you will just be like living in a limbo from first year to fourth year, not knowing kung ano man ang nag-transpire sa buhay mo. And you will just be someone na parang it's like you're alantang gulay na andun ka, present ka, but you're not really giving or self-regulating yourself. You're not really reacting rather to anything because you do not know how to like find that person who gave you these things. Hindi mo yung nagbigay ng passion. So, yeah, prayer as in sobrang sobrang helpful niya, and it's not really ay, nagulat ako. Ganyan talaga ang live. Ayun. It's the default button talaga. So, ayun, I will not be diving more into this because it's really something. Sorry, may naka-unmute ba? Ayan. I'm already done. So, let me just synthesize everything. Here are the 5 tips to survive, or suggested tips to survive or conquer your online classes. Grounding, talk about it, do the things you can do, and find your peace. And of course, last, our default button, prayer. Okay? So, thank you so much for listening. Uy, on time ako. Hindi ako lumagpas ng 30 minutes. Okay, maraming salamat. If you have any questions, feel free to use the chat box later and I can answer, I think, my question and answer portion later. Thank you so much po, and God bless us all.
That very informative talk, yet conquering. And this big shift in education indeed requires grit, self-regulation, mental tenacity, and of course, God in order.
Manuel, we can't hear you well. Hello, Manuel?
Hello po. Okay na po?
Yes, good.
Hello. Of course, we would like to thank Miss Sarah Angela B. Gacutan for that very informative yet a conquering talk. And of course, this big shift in education requires grit talaga, self-regulation, mental tenacity, and God in order to survive this school year. And we will now proceed with the awarding of certificate. Let me first read the citation. Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is hereby presented to Ms. Sarah Angela Big Gacutan for sharing her time and expertise as a resource speaker in the Eductalk with the theme Activate, virtually given this 31st day of August 2020. Signed, Roy Vincent V. Montenegro, President, Faith Teachers League. Signed, Dr. Jerilyn B. Magbuo, Chair, College of Education. Signed, Dr. Vivian B. Titular, Dean, College of Education. A round of applause, please.
Thank you po. Salamat.
Thank you so much po ulit.
Thank you, stars. Good job.
Yeah! Salamat po.
And at this juncture, and I believe we need some, at least a 10-minute break before we proceed with the second speaker. And I know guys who are so excited, but let's give ourselves a 10-minute break. Thank you. Please do not leave the Google Meet forum po.
So we call me ice cream. You could double dip, cause I know you like me.
chilling like a villain, yeah, rah, rah, rah. 미친 듯한 속도 in my life, 너무 빨라, 너는 bigger, wanna damn it. 그냥 치는 millies, 매일 버릇. 한여름 손목에 얼음. Keep it moving like my Lisa. Think you fly, but where you visa? Mona Lisa, kinda Lisa, needs an ice cream and a pizza. Keep it moving like my Lisa. Think you fly, but where you visa? Mona Lisa, kinda Lisa, needs an ice cream and a pizza. Ice cream killer. Ice cream.
Cause I'm in the stars tonight. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. Kink out, get the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking home, jump up to the top of the brown. Ding dong, call me on my phone, nice tea, and I'll get my ping pong. This is getting heavy, can't hear the bass, boom, I'm ready. Life is sweet as honey, yeah, this beat shade like money. This go all alone, I'm into that, I'm good to go, I'm diamond, you know I glow. Hey, so let's go. Cause I'm in the stars tonight, so watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Hey, shining through the city with a little funky song. So I'ma light it up like dynamite. Whoa, bring a friend, join the crowd, whoever wanna come along. Word up, talk, just move right be up the wall. They're like, sky's the light, so we dance to the breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the medicine, so you should keep your eyes on the ball. This is getting heavy, can you hear the bass? Boom, I'm ready. Life is sweet as honey, yeah, this bitch ching like money. And this go all alone, I'm into that, I'm good to go, I'm down, you know I glow. And let's go! Cause I'm in the stars tonight, so watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Hey, shining through the city with a little funky song. So I'ma light it up like dynamite. Whoa, na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Life is dynamite. Na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Life is dynamite. Shining through the city with a little funky song. So I'ma light it up like dynamite. Whoa, da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Light it up, dynamite. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. 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 Light it up, dynamite. 'Cause I'm in stars tonight. So watch me bring the fire, set the night alight. Shining through the city with a little funky song. So light it up like dynamite. This is so watch me bring the fire, set the night alight. Shining through the city with a little funky song. Light it up like dynamite.
Okay, let me cut your disco party at the moment. And welcome back to the second part of our webinar. And I believe you are all excited. With that, let us not prolong the agony of waiting To introduce our second speaker, I would like to call again Miss Lorilyn Austria.
Thank you, Manuel. Loud and clear na ba ako? Hello po? Loud and clear na ba ako, Manuel?
Yes po, yes po.
Yes. Okay. So now we will proceed to our next amazing speaker. He is a fellow First Asian who advocates for the use of art and technology in creating a positive social impact. He is the founder of Give a Shit Philippines, a social enterprise that advocates for empowerment and education by making an environmentally friendly notebooks out of upcycled materials. He obtained a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science degree from Faith Colleges and graduated as magna cum laude. Currently, he is a Systems and Process Administrator at Aboitiz Foundation Incorporation. Let us all welcome our second speaker, Mr. John Emmanuel Magtibay.
Hi. Good afternoon sa inyo, Teachers League. So maraming salamat, Lori, for the introduction and for the whole College of Education for having me on this talk. So I'm really excited to share yung mga insights ko on this new normal, di ba? Or now normal as you call it. So let me present my screen, no? Then probably I'll turn off my camera muna. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon po. So ayan, I think nakikita nyo naman yung screen, no? Tama po ba? So,
Yes,
ayan.
we can see it.
Ay, yun po. Thank you, Miss J. Okay. Again, the title of my presentation would be Learning Beyond the Now Normal. Actually, previously na nakasulat dito is New Normal, pero since you're calling it now the Now Normal, I think it will be much better kung palitan ko, di ba? And then, the reason why it's entitled Learning Beyond the Now Normal, because the Now Normal somehow is kind of restrictive because, because of the quarantine, nandito tayo sa bahay, nakakulong, and we're just going out to have our groceries and all. But the objective of this talk is sana somehow it will inspire you to go beyond that restrictions. Not really to defy yung mga lockdown guidelines, but it's more of how you can go beyond dun sa mga current restrictions natin by learning different other things, no? So, to begin with, I'll just run you through all the topics that I'll be discussing. First is to learn how to learn. It's actually the basic of, alam yun, mga basic tips para sa mga students. And then the tools for online learning, which is suggested by Mr. Roy. And then learning beyond, which is more of how can you maximize the opportunity, or not really the opportunity, or to find the silver lining on this current crisis, no? So first, learning how to learn. Ayan, kita-kita natin yung utak dito. So I have three ments. I call it ments kasi lahat ng words may ment na string, no? So for learning how to learn, yung meron siyang three ments of learning how to learn. So first is the mentality. The second one is the environment, and the third one is the management. So, for the mentality, I have tips, or parang mga things na natutunan ko noon, and I want to share to you yung mga mentality na tinuro lang din sa akin. So, as they always say, you need to start with purpose. And you can do that by asking yourself why. If you want to learn something, you need to know kung bakit mo gusto yan matutunan. Or if you're doing something, tanungin mo bakit mo gustong maging ganun. Tulad nito, currently you are education teachers and you aspire to be teachers. Pero bakit? Diba? So, sometimes it's good that we ask yourself why, so you can evaluate kung is it worth pursuing ba? Is it really what I want? And there will come a time that, tulad nga ng sinabi kanina, na this time ng pandemic, hindi lang bumps yung pinagdadaanan natin, no? Meron tayong mga mountains and different kind of landform din. But if you know your why, parang alam mo kung para kanino mo to ginagawa at kung para saan, kung para sa bayan ba, you have something to hold on to kahit gaano pa to kahirap. So that's one of the tips or one of the mentality that keep me going in during my college days. And the mentality number 2 is to start with an end in mind. So paano ba yun? Nag-start ka pa lang, mag-end ka na agad. So it's more of if you want to do something, you must know your goal, you must know your destination, di ba? So let's say for example, lalabas ka to go somewhere. So dapat alam mo kung saan ka pupunta. Hindi naman pwede na lalabas ka because lalabas ka lang and may pupuntahan ka pero hindi mo alam kung saan pupunta. So it's good na alamin mo kung ano ba talaga yung destination mo. The same way as in learning, that identify what you want to learn early on. So in my personal anecdote, no, as a computer science student, una pa lang nung freshman pa lang ako, alam ko na yung mga gusto ko matutunan, or probably inalam ko na yung mga gusto ko matutunan. Like gusto ko sana matuto mag-develop ng website, mag-database, mga ganyan-ganyan, mag-graphic design, mag-animation. So prior to prior to enrolling dun sa mga courses na yun, alam ko na yung gusto ko matutunan, and it helps me to identify kung saan ko ilalagay yung focus ko. So in your case, you as teachers, pwede niyo din siyang gawin. You can actually ask your professors kung ano ba talaga yung mga magagandang lessons to learn as a professional teacher, and saan ba ako pwedeng magbibigay ng focus, or saan ako dapat mag-advance, and it will help you to create your targets as well. So kunyari, if you want to learn how to manage kids, especially kayo nga teachers, so mabibigay mo na yung focus mo on subjects na it talks about sa mga ganong objective. At the same time, you can actually create your target. Kasi by this time, dapat ganito, ganyan. So mami-measure mo siya if you're lagging behind or not. But it's a good thing na alam nyo yung ending, or somehow na nakikita nyo na yung ending, no? So the next mentality is to start small. So let's say alam mo na kung ano yung gusto mong puntahan. Alam mo na yung step number 100 mo. Pero step number 100, kung titingin ka lang lagi doon sa step number 100, ma-overwhelm ka. So you need to start small. So sometimes people waited to be great to get started. Pero sabi nung iba, just get started and the greatness will come after. So always have this increment mindset, no? So kung step number 100 is the LPT and teaching, and you're a principal of an institution, ganun. Tapos looking back or looking at your current situation na student pa lang tayo, minsan nakaka-overwhelm, paano kaya ako magiging ganun? So parang masyadong malayo, 'di ba? Na parang it's too hard to take. Pero if you have this increment mindset na magsisimula ka lang dun sa mga maliliit na bagay, like step number 100, 'di ba? Start ka lang sa 0. Then 0 to 10. Tapos pag nandoon ka na sa 10, tsaka mo isipin yung step 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to, and so on. So as what we call in the startup community, since I have exposure sa startup, we always have this think big, start small, then scale up. So it's good that you start small, and then tsaka lang tayo mag-a-add on na mag-a-add on. The same way sa pag-aaral ninyo. So learning how to learn nga tayo, di ba? So pag may pinag-aaralan ka at may overwhelm ka, always take it ng maliliit na pieces until you get the whole of it, no? So let's proceed sa environment. So this is the second subtopic ng learning how to learn. So sa environment. So I believe na kailangan natin ng magandang environment for us to have a good learning experience. So kailangan maging conducive yung environment, at the same time for us to have that good learning experience. And how are you going to build that? Not every one of us has this luxury to have that, but at some point, kahit papano, pwede mong i-work out yun for you to learn better. So first is to create your daily routine. So environment is not necessarily on the space level lang, no? Pero time and space 'yan, no? So first is to create your daily routine to sync your body and mind. So it's really important na alam mo yung schedule ng pang-araw-araw mo because it helps your body to adjust. Kunyari kung alam mo na by 12 o'clock dapat natutulog ka na, 'di ba? Actually medyo late na ngayon pero 12 AM natutulog ka na para magkaroon ka ng 8 hours of sleep by 8 AM. Tapos papasok ka sa school or mag-work ka. So building the routine actually helps your body to adjust dun sa current day-to-day activities mo. And it actually gives you a feeling na, uy, 8 AM na, dapat nagtatrabaho ka na or something na ganun. So it actually helps you. So that's tip number 1. Then the next one is to find your golden hour. So every one of us, I believe, meron tayong golden hour. So this is the time wherein we can think of creative ideas, yung sobrang boost ng creativity natin, and then sobrang galing din natin na mag-isip ng mga solution to particular problems because meron talaga tayong meron nga tayong tinatawag na golden hour. And nilagay ko dito is to know how to access your avatar state. Because I call it avatar state. Yung, di ba si Avatar, sobrang powerful niya on avatar state. So, the golden hour is my avatar state. This is the time wherein I can think of creative ideas, and this is the time that I'm doing problem solving because dito mataas yung level or nag-function yung brain ko ng probably beyond the usual, no? So, this is a good thing if kunyari ma-identify nyo to, especially pag mayroon kayong mga pag-aaralan, dapat alam nyo, dun kayo mag-aaral sa time na yun para mas madali yung retention, madali yung mga memorize, and all other things. Then, set up your workplace. As what I mentioned, it's good to have a good learning environment, to have good learning experience. So, as they suggested, dapat daw magkahiwalay yung place of rest and place of work. So, in your case, place of rest and place of study. Kasi para hindi nag-aagaw yung, alam mo yun, baka mamaya nag-work ka pero mamaya gusto mo palang nagpahinga. At the same time, vice versa. Natutulog ka na, gusto mo pa rin magtrabaho or gusto mo pa rin mag-aral. So maganda magkahiwalay sila. Pero if it's not feasible, just like in my case, hindi siya ganun ka-feasible, pero you can actually start a good workplace, like good table, ganun. Because good work starts with good workplace nga, sabi. Diba? So, yun. Then, the third subtopic is the management. So, yun nga, alam na, prepared na yung utak natin. No? Alam na, meron na tayong mindset. Alam na rin natin kung saan tayo pepesto, anong oras, para magawa natin yung mga dapat natin gawin. Ngayon, paano natin i-handle yung mga trabaho? Being a student, and some of you are student leader, some of you are student athletes, or some of you are working student, overwhelming yan kasi patong-patong yan, sabay-sabay, and the pressure is somehow big. Currently, lalo na ngayon, maraming restrictions nga. So, there should be a way for you to handle it. And these are the tips na natutunan ko noon, na binigay din sa akin, kaya na-overcome ko yung mga ganong challenges ko when I was a student. So, first is to set your priorities. Sometimes it's okay to have that time management. But, hindi siya ganun nag-work sa akin because somehow it's kind of restrictive pag hindi ko na aabot yung deadline, ganun. Pero, what's important sa akin is to set my priorities. So, maraming tasks. Kailangan mong ilagay kung alin ba yung urgent at ano yung importante at ano ba yung parehas na urgent at important. So, by that time, pag clear sa'yo yun, mas madali ka makakapag-schedule na, uy, dapat pala tong unahin, uy, dapat pala tong gawin agad, or ito, pwede ko pa itong magpaliban kahit bukas na, ganun. So, it will help you clear your mind. Then the next one is to collaborate with others. We as students, somehow we are trained to be individual, they call it individualistic trait, no? Na parang mag-aaral ka mag-isa, maggagawa ka ng project mag-isa. If there is a group teamwork, parang some of people are kinukuha nila yung trabaho because they're sanay sa individualistic trait. Pero, on the current in the current setup or current workforce, it's really important that you know how to collaborate with others. And you can start collaborating with others by first finding your key persons to help you out dun sa mga task. Sometimes, dahil overwhelming yung task, makikita mo yung, kunyari, group work, no? Meron tayong art direction, video something sa project ninyo. So, sometimes kilala mo kung sino yung magaling magsulat, kilala mo kung sino yung magaling mag-edit ng video, kilala mo kung sino yung magaling mag-take ng photo or ng video. So, you should find your key persons to help you out. And then, collaborate with them. And sometimes, it's good to collaborate when they're getting something out of your collaboration. Kasi for example, na ikaw, nagbe-benefit ka dun sa skills nila, at the same time, they should benefit from your skills. So that's how collaboration works. It's always answering the question that's, what's in it for me? So this is just a classroom scenario. Pero moving forward, when you go to the workplace and when you go to different organizations, it's important din na alam niyo. So in other words, they call it stakeholder management. So you can actually search for those topics in your free time. Then the last one is to make an action plan. No, action plan is like a to-do list, but it's more complicated. So sa to-do list kasi nilalagay mo lang yung task mo. But on an action plan, nilalagay mo yung target, kung ano yung gusto mong ma-achieve on this, and then nilalagay mo din kung ano yung kung kailan yung deadline, and kung sino yung in charge. And creating an action plan gives more of an accountability and measurement. It helps you measure kung nagiging successful ba kayo sa ginagawa nyo, or ikaw as a person, nagiging successful ka ba sa ginagawa mo. The deadlines actually push you. No? Pagka nakikita mo na malapit na yung deadline, minsan mas malalaman mo na urgent to kasi malapit na yung deadline. Then, pag kilala mo kung sino yung in charge, you can hold them accountable dun sa mga tasks na yun. So, keywords natin is yung stakeholders management and yung action plan. You can actually search for that and learn better or learn deeper dun sa mga ganon. So, ngayon, let's move on sa tools for learning. So currently, tinanong ko si Roy kung ano ba yung preferred nilang topics, or they're asking kung ano ba yung possible na applications or technology that we can use on the current now normal setup. So, for me, sa office task, I still recommend to use the Microsoft Office, especially pag offline kayo, because you can, dun tayo sanay, and yun yung available, sometimes free, because currently ata mayroong partnership si Microsoft and Fate na libre yung mga office suite natin. Then, pagka naman gusto mo ng collaboration, kunyari gusto mo habang nagtatype ka ng thesis mo, nagtatype din ng thesis yung tropa mo, or yung groupmate mo, you can use Google Docs, no? So, ang maganda rito is real-time yung update niya, and every one of you is updated on, nakikita niyo siya sa screen. So, I recommend currently, kung possible naman sa inyo yung online, is to use the Google Docs. Dahil Google Suite, you have the Google Sheet, the Google Slide, and you can actually create websites, yung mga microsite na tinatawag, on the Google Sites, and it's really easy to use. Then for communication naman, for instant messaging, yan yung mga chat, mga ganun, I recommend Messenger. Kasi it's one of the most available instant messaging app na madali siyang makikita, and people are more available doon, no? Then, you can actually use Slack as well. So, if kunyari medyo meron kayong pambayad for the premium of Slack, maganda siyang gamitin. Kasi on this Slack, meron siyang mga threads ba? Parang kunyari nag-uusap kayo sa GC, tapos marami kayong topics sa pinag-uusapan. Minsan nakakagulo yun sa Messenger, di ba? Parang topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, ganyan. Sa Slack, pwede mong i-categorize kung alin yung mga for topic 1, for topic 2, ganyan. Pero same group of people. Then Viber, you can actually use it as well kasi connected siya sa phone. As well, most importantly, pwede mo rin gamitin yung SMS, yung text, kung may load ka. Then, for communication, for announcement naman, maganda pa din yung Messenger kasi, again, it's because of its availability. At the same time, yung Facebook group. Before we're using that, and currently, up till now, it's still useful sa amin kasi lagi ka din naman nasa Facebook, so lagi din nila nakikita. Then, if you want to have more formal announcement, you can use email. And it's maganda to pagka magsasend ka na ng mga files, ganon. And by the way, you can use Google Drive kasi maganda rin siya for storing your files. Then, for video conference naman, itong ginagamit natin, Google Meet, maganda rin siya kasi lahat naman ng student or lahat halos karamihan ay merong email. Unlike dito sa Zoom and sa Discord, some of them kailangan mo pa na magkaroon ng account or if not is you need to download the app pa. Pero sa Google Meet, it's available. And then there's one thing na tinatawag na Discord. I never explored this pero I think this is a good one too. So you can actually explore this one. And then for designing, yung mga application for designing, you can have PowerPoint, no? And you can use Canva too. PowerPoint kasi accessible siya, at the same time it is powerful than what you know. Yun siya, maganda siya. And then Canva, because marami siyang free templates. Then photopia.com, it's for para siyang Photoshop pero online. It's a web application. It's like very similar sa Photoshop pero online siya. Then if you have a license, pwede naman yung Photoshop. Then for your image assets, kunyari, kailangan mo ng mga vectors, tulad nito, yung mga vectors dito, kinuha ko lang siya sa flaticon.com. And you can use VecTC as well if you need custom vectors. Also, pwede dito yung isometric.online. It's actually designed for startup, so pwede mo siyang gamitin din. And then, for image, or mga royalty-free image, pwede sa Pexels at sa Useplash. Then for video animation, isa sa pinaka-recommended ko is si Powtoon kasi napakadali niyang gamitin. At the same time is maganda yung output. And then Filmora, so you can download it. Then for work management, yun nga yung sinasabi ko, if you want to build your action plan and all that, or to-do list na kita ng lahat, you can use the Google Sheets. Or kung offline ka naman, pwede namang Excel. So para meron kang reference, no? And most of the work companies are using Excel pa din up to this day, no? Hindi pa rin siya obsolete. So for online, Google Sheet, and then you can use Trello. So yun yung more premium na project management software. So yun. So that's for the tools for learning. So if you have questions, so pwede nyo naman siyang i-chat dito sa chat box, then we will answer it later. And then for learning beyond, ito na yung you now know how to learn, and you now know how what are the tools that you can use to learn. So ano naman yung gagawin mo sa natutunan mo? So this is the learning beyond part. So first, it involves three topics, which is the skill, the involvement, and the initiative. So if you want to make the most out of your learning experience, you need to improve your skills. And these are the ways on how you can improve your skill wisely. So I call it wisely because some are improving their skills, but alam mo yun, parang they're improving the wrong kind of skill, or they're improving it in a wrong manner, or probably it's hindi siya ganun ka-efficient. So first is to master your main skills. So if you're a computer science student, or if you need to master your programming skill, no? Definitely. Pero pagka naman teacher ka, so you need to master your teaching skills, or probably your behavior management skill. So I think it's better for you to master your main skill first. Then, if you're good enough dun sa skill na yun, study beyond your profession. So if you're a teacher, pwede ka mag-try ng other stuff like writing, copywriting, and all that. And pwede mong itry yung mga soft skills naman. Because currently, highly employable yung mga tao na may proven work na based dun sa soft skills nila. And at the same time, you can do the income generating skill. Kasi syempre, currently, in this pandemic, no, I'm one of the affected din. As an IT profession, yun lang sana yung ginagawa ko, mag-computer lang, ganyan-ganyan. Pero, dahil marunong ako ng designing, and marami din akong time currently since work from home setup, I was able to earn more by taking another part-time job for designing. So, alam mo yun, meron kang professional skill, tas meron ka yung hobby skill mo lang, pero income generating siya. So, yun yung somehow na pwede nyong i-explore during this now normal period. And then, as well, the managerial skill. So, it's really important because I think in all professions, managerial skill is there. So, kasi if you're a teacher, di ba, pag-aaralan mo yung mga professional skills of a teacher. But moving forward, when you grow older, when you grow, na-promote ka na, time will come na dadating din sa'yo yung hindi lang for teaching skills, dadating din sa'yo yung managerial skills, kung paano mo ma-manage yung mga teachers mo. If you're a higher level of teacher, then paano mo ma-manage din yung students or your facilities ng schools. So, I think it's important that you take time to improve it as well early, ngayon pa lang, no? Then the last one is to make learning a hobby. So maraming resources na online currently, lalo ngayong information age, napakarami. And actually, ngayong nag-quarantine, napakadaming naglabasan na webinars, di ba? So you can actually enroll on that, and then you can watch YouTube tutorials as well na nagtuturo ng iba't ibang management skills. At the same time, you can listen to podcasts. Minsan sa Spotify, meron ng mga ganun, no? Free naman yung Spotify sometimes, di ba? Meron lang mga ads. And yung YouTube as well. Then you can read books as well. So, ito yung mga examples of the most valued soft skills currently. So, yung confidence, time management, self-management skills, friendliness. So, I believe naman friendly yung mga teachers natin. Then yung ambition, then focus, common sense, situational awareness, enthusiasm, optimism, and empathy. So yung mga yan, hindi niyo yan agad ma-develop sa classroom. Sometimes you need to get involved and you need to be out there. You need to practice your skills para matutunan niyo itong mga soft skills na to. I mean, it can be learned theoretically, pero it's better pag application na, di ba? And then, this is the high income skills that you can learn from home, no? So copywriting, yun yung sales, di ba? Then financial management, closing skills, UI UX design, platform closing, digital marketing, programming, and webinar presentations. So I'm not recommending na aralin nyo to lahat. Pwedeng pumili ka lang ng ilan dyan para lang matutunan mo apart from your profession. So I think it will be useful in one way or the other. Then, so ito na. Di ba nasabi ko sa inyo that it's good to develop your soft skills? Pero paano? So, I think magagawa niyo yan when you become more involved. And how to be involved? Paano ba yon? First is to volunteer if possible. So, ako as a student leader, before pala ako maging student leader, nagvo-volunteer lang ako sa mga tasks like pagka magpe-prepare ng mga event venue. So, nagvo-volunteer lang ako until sa church time na parang nabibigyan ako ng extra task na tumulong sa akin to develop the other skills, no? So, don't be afraid of extra work. Treat experience as a payment because someday, somehow, it will be rewarding. Na, ay buti na lang pala, pag kanyari graduate ka na ng college, masasabi mo na, ay buti na lang pala, trinay ko to. At least alam ko na yung ganitong skill kasi important pala siya sa trabaho ko ngayon. Then, the next one is to take a skill-related job. So, katulad if you want to learn how to be a graphic designer, di ba? So, mag-take ka ng graphic designing related job kasi somehow it will legitimize your skill. You don't need certifications, pero pagka nagkaroon ka ng trabaho na related dun sa skills mo, somehow mali-legitimize yung skill mo na, ay, ano nga pala to, graphic designer pala to. Ay, magaling pala to magsulat kasi proven na dun sa sa job experience niya. And then, if you want to dive more, you can join organizations, no? Find group that can help you grow your skills and give you opportunities. So sa Facebook, marami dyan. For graphic artists, meron ditong Graphic Artists Philippines na tinuturuan kayo, nagbibigay sila ng free tutorials, nagbibigay sila ng opportunities. Somehow, alam ko. But you can actually explore, no? Applicable naman to sa different professions as well. Then, the last one, no? Initiative. So, know kung ano yung mga dapat mo matutunan, meron ka ng skill, na-apply mo na siya, pero ngayon, paano mo siya magagamit for a change? Because currently, lahat ngayon ng youth somehow is obliged, or not, if not obliged, is expected na somehow magdala ng pagbabago sa lipunan. And you can do that by initiating. And there are ways to initiate. First is you can propose solutions, no? So, ang faith naman is very open for new projects and new solutions sa mga, kunyari, sa mga communities na nakikita nyo, pwede kayong mag-propose ng projects. And they actually very happy if you can create a project like Give a Sheet, no? So, take what you learn into something noble. So, yung mga natutunan mo, ipangtulong mo sa iba sa pamagitan ng mga proyekta mo and sa na you can lead the project even once, no? So if you're a student leader or a teacher leader, somehow maganda if in one instance sa college life mo nag-lead ka ng isang project. Small project man 'yan sa classroom or a project ng organization. It will be good, or probably a sub project ng bigger project. It's still fine because somehow you had this leadership experience, and who knows, malay mo magustuhan mo pala yung ganong trabaho, because you can master something by actually help someone too. So I think those are the three ways so that you can help people at the same time take initiative. So as an ending quote, ito yung laging sinasabi sa akin ng mga mentors ko before, that if it scares you, it might be a good thing. So currently on this now normal, maraming nakakatakot at marami tayong hindi alam, maraming uncertain. But sometimes it's a good thing because sometimes this problems provides opportunity for you to grow as a person, for you to grow as a student, for you to grow as a teacher, and for you to grow as a successful individual. So I think with what's happening ngayon, it's really important to keep the faith. Of course, let's pray, and then let's work on finding the good on what's on the bad situation. No? So ayun, maraming salamat for having me, and I hope you learned something.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jan Emmanuel C. Magtibay, for the tools and tips on how we can go beyond on the now normal. And I believe we are all activated with what our speakers have shared for this afternoon. And at this juncture, we will now proceed with the awarding of certificates. Let me first read the citation. Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is hereby presented to Mr. Jan Emmanuel C. Magtibay for sharing his time and expertise as a resource speaker in the Eductalk with the theme Activate. Virtually given this 31st day of August 2020, signed Mr. Roy Vincent V. Montenegro, President Faith Teachers League, signed Dr. Jerilyn B. Magbuo, Chair College of Education, signed Dr. Vivian B. Titular, Dean College of Education. Once again, a round of applause for Mr. Jan Emmanuel C. Magtibay. Thank you so much po, sir.
Thank you po. Thank you po. Maraming salamat po.
And at this moment, if you have questions and clarifications, please use the Google Meets chat box. You may place your questions now. Again, if you have questions, you may post it on our Google Meet chat box.
Or maybe they can open their microphone if they have a question, so it will be faster.
Meron po tayong isang questions. I believe this question is meant for Sir Emmanuel. From Jonathan Atienza Antonio. Lahat po ba ng tools na na-share nyo po ay free to download po? Again po, meron po tayong question, and this question I believe is meant for Sir Emmanuel. From Jonathan Antonio po, lahat po ba ng tools na na-share nyo po ay free to download po?
Sorry, I just joined lang. Yes, some of them are free to download, except yung Photoshop and yung Filmora, I guess. So, some of them pwede nyo siyang gamitin, pero yung iba may mga may mga subscription. Pero you can still use kasi meron silang mga free to use features.
Sir Emmanuel?
Yes po.
Meron ka bang ma-recommend sa kanila na particular app na ikaw personally mo ginagamit para to organize your in this online setting? Kasi minsan 'di ba, hindi mo na alam yung araw at para lang to keep you up on your feet every time or every day kung ano yung mo. Meron ka bang particular app na ginagamit?
Yes po. Currently po, I'm using the Google Sheets lang po talaga. So, what's good with Google Sheets po is it's really customizable dun sa need nyo. So, meron din siyang mga different formulas and pwede nyo siyang i-customize. So, currently po, yun po yung ginagamit ko for organizing my task po. But for group-wide po, Trello is good po.
Trello. Free din naman yun, sir.
I think may subscription din po siya, pero meron siyang free to use, meron lang pong limitations. So I haven't explored it yet po yung free subscription, pero you can take a look po doon.
Okay, thank you sir. O yun, Trello daw.
Thank you, ma'am.
I believe everything is clear. Medyo wala na po ata nagtatanong. And of course, to officially close this webinar, a round of applause for the ever-supportive Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Vivian B. Titular, for her closing remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, thank you for coming, everyone, especially to our very able speakers. Miss Sarah, I miss you, and Mr. Magtibay, I'm really very impressed about your sharing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss Sarah. Thank you, Mr. Magtibay. And then,
Salamat po.
learning, sabi nga ni Sir Magtibay, learning how to learn. And of course, I would add and learn several things about life to improve is significant in this time of our now normal. We are challenged to be more creative and improve our skills, master our skills, and we should have also the right attitude towards such. But I'd like to close this by not so many words. I'd like to have some few words about what you have shared, Ma'am Gacutan and Mr. Magtibay, from our students. So I will be calling for students to just share their takeaway from your talk, okay? And probably what made them inspired to just 2 sentences. Can I call from the upper? I would like to call from the upper. Can I call Angelica Ramirez to share your takeaway after this? Ano po ba ang baon mo? Specifically from, unahin po muna natin kay Mr. Magtibay muna. Okay. So kay Mr. Magtibay po, one takeaway. Please, Miss Angelica, can you turn on your mic?
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon. Okay, you can share your takeaway.
So yung natutunan ko po dun is, if it scares you, it might be a good thing po. That's why po, we should always grab yung opportunities po na dumadating sa buhay natin. Kasi po, tinutulungan po tayo nun mag-grow, mag-learn, and to enjoy. Then once po na may natutunan tayo doon, we can share it to other people po. That's all po.
Thank you, Angelica. Okay, I like the name Angels. So, Angeline Diza. Angeline Diza. Okay, Angeline Diza is actually the student of Miss Gacutan. She was in
Yes.
Okay, so your takeaway, anak. What's your takeaway from Miss Sarah?
So, ang pinaka natutunan ko po sa topic ni Miss Gacutan, which is ang topic niya po is conquering online class during a pandemic. Ang pinaka-topic po is yung self-regulation, which is kung paano po tayo magre-respond sa isang task na binigay sa atin and kung paano po natin i-handle yon with our emotions. So, minsan po kapag po tayo kinakabahan or nai-stress, we can find po true peace kapag po, pwede po tayo makapaghanap ng mga bagay na nakakapag-relax sa atin. And then, Miss Gacutan po is my previous teacher, which is nung grade 10 po ako sa Colegio de Santa Rosa de Lima. And then, lagi po niya sa akin sinasabi is, kailangan po nating iset ang priorities natin pagdating sa mga task na binibigay sa atin. And then, lagi niya pong pinapayo sa akin is, wala pong nagsisimula sa magaling. Lahat po yun, pinaghihirapan, lahat kakayanin, and then, darating po tayo sa point na magiging magaling na rin tayo katulad ng mga teachers na meron tayo ngayon. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. Can I call now Miss Almira from upper year, third year math? Can you have your takeaway, please, in few sentences? Almira, are you there? Parang wala si Ma'am Almira. Okay, can I call Jeremy? Jeremy, are you there?
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Kindly give me a takeaway from Miss Sarah's talk.
Ang natutunan ko po is the importance of mental health in our work. Kasi po, yung mga talks ko kasi meron silang something similar, which is yung importance of others, yung importance ng ng iba sa pag-aaral, and the importance of God, yung pagkikipag-usap sa Kanya, kasi He can be our malalapitan natin sa mga panahong hindi natin alam kung sino ang kakausapin natin. And syempre, kailangan natin magtiwala sa gabay na may bibigay niya. So, my main takeaway is take each steps, small step. So, hindi natin kailangan na isipin yung kung how big the task really is, but focus on how you can manage to finish it in an organized and mentally safe way. Thank you so much.
Wow, tingnan mo naman ang ating mga first year and upper year. Okay, siguro sa susunod, pwede na kayo naman ang speakers, di ba? Okay, just to end this one, alam ko marami nang nasabi si Ma'am Gacutan at si Mr. Magtibay. Siguro ang isa ko na lang maiiwan, masasabi ay, in the College of Education, we advocate joyful learning. Okay? Sabi sa study ng neuroscience, when students are engaged, motivated, and feel minimal stress, information flows freely, and then you can achieve higher levels of cognition, connection, and there you could have the aha experience. Yun lang pala yun. When you are properly disposed. Kaya po ginawa namin itong seminar nito, kahit po webinar na to, kahit pandemic, and thank you very much talaga Miss Sarah, Mr. Magtibay, and Mr. Magtibay. Kahit holiday nandito kayo, and your passion to reach for us is really very much appreciated. At yun na nga po, ito yung ginawa natin is primarily to give you a right disposition to start this school year. Napaka-negative kalimitan ng mga tao pag online learning and starting this one with pandemic and the like. And this now normal that has been maraming solusyon. It's just a proper attitude. It's just a proper disposition. So to end with, okay, let's just have an emotional agility. Alam niyo, siguro i-search na rin natin sa net, yung emotional agility. Yung lakas, hindi lang lakas ng loob. Yung emotional disposition na may hopeful hopeful at saka strength to battle everything. Maraming requirements, maraming gagawin, okay, maraming concerns sa family. But sabi nga ni sir, if you are at the right track, you know your priorities, you know what you wanted, things will be better and it would come along a long way of peaceful and joyful journey in faith. And I'm happy to see you in person, but this time we'll just have it virtually. Okay, God bless. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Titular. And now help us improve by filling out the evaluation form using the link the committee has prepared. You may click the link on the chat box, or you may scan the QR code. And now, turn your cameras on and show your sweetest smiles for the photo opportunity. When I count 1 to 3, you can say click, huh? So that you may have the sweetest smiles. Okay, turn on your cameras. 1, 2, 3, say click.
Click. Click.
Once again, isa pa po. When I count 1 to 3, you say click. So that para alam natin na tayo activated na for this school year with the now normal. 1, 2, 3, say click.
Click. Click.
Okay, and everyone, let us sing the faith hymn.
Miss Sarah, Miss Magtibay, na-miss niyo ba ang faith hymn?
Yes, ma'am. Opo.
Pati po yung faith prayer, na-miss ko rin po.
Faith prayer din po.
This land, cradle of heroes, where vanity burns a bright light of hope, a tower of knowledge and wisdom that will flourish, that will nurture the future of this nation. Forever stand, God of you are faith. We shall forever keep your flame ablaze. In beauty both your ideals and grace. We shall proclaim you, O faith, to all the world.
This has been our Eductalk Activated. Once again, I am Emmanuel Garcia, your host. Turn on your mic and join me as I shout our battle cry. You may turn your mics on. Ad Astra.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
To the college.
감사합니다.
Ad
Thank you
Astra
po.
Thank you po. Thank you po, Sir Eman. Miss Sarah.
Thank you
Good
po.
luck to all Froshies.
Thank you din po. Thank
Salamat
you.
po. Good
Thank you po
luck sa
lahat.
inyong lahat. Pag may kailangan kayo, chat lang
Good luck
kayo.
din po.
Yes po,
Yes
Miss Sarah.
po.
God bless you all po.
Thank you po.
God
Thank you po.
bless.
Thank you.
Bye po, Miss Sarah.
Salamat din po.
Bye-bye. Salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Bye, Miss Sarah. Ingat po.